Hello, everyone, and welcome back. So, like I mentioned in the previous videos, that we have four type of analytical function which are based on the Windows in SQL. And in the previous video, we have already seen how powerful these functions are. Now we are going to discuss the fourth type, which is another powerful area that you can use to write some really robust queries, which without Windows function, we have to do a lot of self joins and the performance is not going to be optimized. But now we're going to see in this video with the Windows analytical function, we can easily create some really strong script with clean SQL statements or clean SQL script. What we are going to discuss today, we have two major functions, lag and lead. So what these two function does, lag actually give you the previous row. So you can read the values from the immediately previous row. So imagine you have your current row, it has two consecutive boundaries. One is attached with the previous one, the next one is attached to the next row, right? So if we want to actually get the data from these two consecutive edges, one is obviously going to be the previous one from the current one, that we can get it from lag. And then obviously the next, if we want to get the very next row, which is another consecutive boundary, which is coming as a next row from the current row perspective, that we can get it from the lead function. So both functions are very powerful, and once you understand it, you're gonna see how it will help you to get the data. And we can generate a lot of useful script by using these two functions. For today's demo, we're gonna see one question or the one problem that we can resolve through lag, right? And I'm going to actually show you in the dev environment what the problem is, and then we will solve it through lag function. So let's jump into dev environment and we'll see how lag can help us to solve that problem. Let me reshare my screen. I'm just going to move into my dev statement. Sorry, dev environment. Now I'm in here, so you can see it. What I'm going to do, I think, yeah, we are pretty good. So we have let me first show you the actual table. In every query, we normally first see the table. I'm just typing junk, but I'm gonna resolve it. Bear with me. So you can see we have the hire date, and what we're gonna see what's the difference between hiring an employee with the similar title in the similar organizational level. So we at the organizational level, we have obviously a title, and we just want to see, okay, how much time the organizational take to hire similar title or similar rank in the past year, right? So we will see how we can solve that query in the using the lag function. And just to actually clarify it, like for example, you can see we have the marketing assistant. So you can see we have multiple marketing assistant which are sitting at level 2, right? So what I want to see, okay, how much time HR is taking to hire each marketing assistant in last couple of years, because that will help me to to see the pattern, that whether, okay, is that duration is reasonable, or if it is not, what are the reason why there is a big gap in hiring marketing assistant. Is it the skill shortage, or the candidates are not available in the market, or our internal processes are slow, right? So I'm just going to do the audit for all the organizational level as well as my job titles in my organization, right? So now we'll come and we'll see how we can solve it, right? So let's first run a simple query lag, and I'm obviously, because I'm trying to get the information about the high date. So in the lag function, because it's going to give you the previous date, so we'll see what lag of high date will give us. And obviously we are going to arrange our data by organizational level, and in the organizational level we're going to arrange it by job title, which is pretty clear. So let me first show you. As a first step, I'm just arranging everything to understand. And like I mentioned in the previous, never ever try to solve the whole problem together. Try to solve it in chunks, because in chunks you take one step to solve one part, and then once you take all the steps, all these parts will combine together to become your solution, right? So in this one, you can see now I'm getting my high date, and I call the lag function with the high date, and I just called a previous high date. Now, let's do a quick sanity check whether we are getting the previous row. So you can see my records have been now sorted. I can see level 1 is coming on the top, and then level 2 and all the way. But one thing, in the level 1, obviously we have chief executive officer, and these are arranged by in the alphabetical order, which I told you that we can control it through other logics, but at this problem we don't need to worry about, right? Because we want the similar titles to come together. And you can see in here we have all the similar titles, they are appearing together. Now the last step which I want to do and find out whether I'm getting the previous record. So you can see the previous high date, this date should be the previous records, right? So you can see in the previous high date row, we can see in the previous row we have the high date as 2009-01-14, which is coming as a call field in this one. So that's what I was saying, that how powerful this function are. Like, you are getting the values from your previous column, from previous row, as an attribute in your current row, and you can do any kind of work, or any you can do any kind of processing on this attribute which is coming from the previous row. Very powerful, right? So now let's do another test. So 2009-01-31, it is coming from the previous row. So in the previous row, which is obviously this row, it should be 2009-01-31. That's good, right? So we are getting the data. Now, what we are going to do, we are going to subtract my previous date with the current date, so I can get the difference. And obviously, I'm going to get the difference between these 2 days in terms of days, right? So I'm going to show you how we can do it. So that's why I actually divided it into the steps. So in step 1, I have checked it. Yeah, I'm getting the previous column into my current row as an additional attribute. So that box is ticked. Next step, I'm going to take the difference. So in the next step, you can see I'm calling the date diff. Date diff function actually subtract 2 days, and then it will ask you what kind of difference you want to return. You can return the days, you can return the years, you can return the month. It's more like the function. The first parameter indicate what kind of information you are trying to return from the subtraction of 2 days, right? So I'm actually getting the days, right? So that's a very simple format of the date diff, right? What I'm passing the previous date, and I'm going to subtract it from the current date. So this function I have actually inherited or copied from the step 1, right? And then obviously I've just put it as a separate attribute, so we can compare and we can check it, right? Now, let's run it. So now you can see, obviously, from the first row, if we subtract anything from the null, we're gonna get the null, right? So that's what we have already seen in the null video, where we actually discussed the null value. So let's check the second one. So the second one, we have the current high date is 2009-01-31. And then we have the previous date is 2009-01-14. And if I add 17 into 14, so that's good, like we are getting 17, right? So the number of days, the duration between these two higher is 17 days, right? But the problem is the title is not same, right? So there is still a logical error. We want to see the days or the duration between similar title, right? It's not like I'm not interested that how much time it took to hire the chief financial officer after the chief executive officer, right? Because these are two completely different titles. I'm interested, okay, how much time the system took to hire an application specialist from another application specialist, right? So you can see in here, it is showing me minus 746, right? Which is actually the difference between the vice president, because you can see the organizational level 1 is finishing in here, but because we haven't put any condition, so without any condition, it is just taking the previous row high date and it is subtracting from the current row high date. So that's the logical error. Be very careful. That is not a right value, right? Because the level has been changed and there is no link between level 1 and level 2, right? We are only consider the title within the similar level, and these titles also need to be similar. Now in that step 2, we get partially correct result, but then we have a problem, right? Why I'm saying we are getting the partial result, because if I see the second application specialist, we are hiring it on 2009-02-03, and then the previous one we have hired it 2009-02-16, right? So we have the duration as minus 13, right? Because obviously we need to adjust the dates during the subtraction, right? And then obviously there's another thing we might need to arrange the dates as well. So we can see the earliest high date first, and then we go all the way down, right? So the latest date come later. All right, so there are a bunch of issues in the step 2 that we are going to fix into step 3. All right, let's see what our step 3 is going to do. Now in the step 3, obviously I need to now apply the boundaries logic, right? Where the level 1 is finishing, we are not going to actually do the similar thing at the new level, because whatever record is coming in the start of the next level, that record shouldn't take the previous record high date and subtract it, right? Because there is no logical link. So the in simple example, once organizational level 1 has finished and organizational level 2 has started, account manager high date shouldn't be subtracted from the previous record, which is obviously the vice president of production, right? And how are we going to achieve it? So that means we need to do some sort of comparison between these two, and we need to find if these two values are equal, not only on the organizational level, but also on the title level, right? Because we are only interested with the similar title and the similar organizational level. So that's why if you look at the condition in here, what I'm saying, get the last organizational level through the lag function and compare it with the current organizational level. If they both are equal, and then get the previous job title, compare it with the current job title. If both are equal and those both conditions are correct, then go and do the difference or subtraction. If that's not the case, simply put minus 99999 as a duration, because that will tell us that these dates are not relevant, right? So these are more like standardization of our data, which actually help business to understand, okay, there is no link between these two records. And obviously these are the sample one, but you can change it, you can change the logic, or you can put any default value with work. Bear in mind, we cannot put 0 in here, right? Because 0 mentions some logic, right? If you subtract two dates and there is a the date difference is 0 days. So that means that is a proper value, right? So be very careful. These are the glitches of the data side that we need to address with the help of the business, right? They provide us the logic that what is the best value to substitute if things are coming even with the error, but they still give any sense, right? So in this case, if I put 0, I know it's an error, but it's still going to actually reflect a proper value, right? So that's why I'm not using 0. All right. Let me just now run it. And hopefully, you're going to see our records are going to be sorted. By the way, this vacation hours percentage we have already discussed in the previous video. Please feel free to watch if you want to understand that functionality as well. But now you can see our logical errors are gone, right? So as soon as you can see the first duration, it is coming as minus 999 because there is no row before first row, right? So it cannot subtract anything from the previous row. Now the second title has been changed, so we are not subtracting it, right? All the way down in here. So now you can see account manager, the days in duration is not coming as 746 because the previous title is not similar to account manager, and even the level is not the same, right? So even within the same organizational level, if the titles are not same, so our logic is not calculating any date, right? So these are all tick boxes. Now, if we come to our genuine case, so now in here, you can see that's our first use case. What we are doing, we are actually checking the previous date. Previous date is 2009-02-16, and we are subtracting from the current row, which is 2009-02-03. So the difference is 13, right? It's not sorted by the hire date, right? So that's another thing that we need to do. So let's see if we can, how about if we just, do this ordered by hire date, and we'll see whether it works or not. Yeah, it just impact on the full query. So what we are going to do, I think I know how we can do it. That's the better one. That's what you're gonna see in here. Because I just want to arrange the hire date by organizational level and job title. And I think, yeah, now it will resolve the issue. So let's see. So you can see there is no issue with the previous logic. And whenever we build, we first test the previous logic, which is already been confirmed, right? Because most of the time, if you want recheck once you apply any change to the existing logic that has already been approved, there are chances that your new logic might impact the old logic, right? So as a tip, always check your previous logic that you have already verified and confirmed it is already working. And now I'm applying a change, so I need to make sure my logic is still relevant or still intact, right? So there is no impact of the change which I've just made it on the previous one. So I can validate it easily because I can see where the organizational level is changed and the job title is changed. We are still getting -9, and so that's pretty sweet. Now let me quickly drag it up to increase the size of the output window, because we are now going to check the sorting or the arrangement of my hire date. So let's see. Yeah, so we are getting, so you can see we are getting application specialist who has been hired in 2008 December 23rd. The next one is coming, the one which has been hired on 11 Jan 2009, right? So, and the next one is coming, which has been hired on 3rd of Feb 2009. So that's the logic is working, right? So now we have our data sorted. We can easily subtract. So obviously my 2000, the one application specialist which I have hired in 2009, Jan 11, I'm going to subtract it with the previous one which has been hired in 2008, 12, 23, right? So the hiring duration is pretty good, right? Because within 19 days we get the another specialist, and within 23 days we get another specialist, and and another after 13 days we get there. So that means our HR is working really well, right? So you can see these are the scripts that really help the business to evaluate and to to find out what's going on in the organization so they can improve it for good, right? Let's see, do we have any problem anywhere in the data? And now we already picked one area that needs some investigation, and you can see in here, wow. So you can see we have all the ways, everything is good. And then we have someone that we have hired after 707, almost after 2 years. So that give us some sort of some sort of food that we can use to investigate. Is it a normal behavior? There could be only two reasons. One is positive, that we didn't need for 2 years we didn't need any marketing specialist. Our existing marketing specialists were really good, they're really performing, and then after 2 years we find the need to hire another one, right? Or there could be an other side of it, that okay, there are issues that this area has been neglected and nobody put any attention for 2 years till we reach or we hit some sort of problem, so we hired another marketing specialist, right? So you can see with these function how much insight we are getting out from our data, right? So that's the whole point of the data and analytics. And then I think the rest of there are still 81 days in the network administrator. So we have hired after 81 days, which is almost 3 months, right? So which is still, it still makes sense. And in here, we have hired sales representative for, on the same day, we have hired, I think, almost 3, 6, 8. And then afterwards, we hired another another 2 sales representative, or after 365 days. Yeah, after a year. And then we have hired exactly 2, we have hired on that day. So that's pretty much that will help you to investigate some really, I would say, deep insight or complex insight from your data. But you can see with these built-in function, the Windows Analytical function, how much powerful insights you can attain from your data, which is not possible previously, except writing some really complex query, a lot of inner join, and then the script looks very ugly, which is now all gone if you actually use the Windows Analytical function. Now, lead is just the opposite. If you remember the start of the video, lead is the opposite of the lag, because it will return the upcoming row, the very next row, right? So let me just show you the lead. I'm just applying the same logic. So all I did, I just replaced the lag with the lead, right? So instead of reading the previous one, I'm going to read the next one. And just for the completion perspective, let's run it and let's see. So now you can see the logic is still working. We have -99. So we are not going to get the duration if the organizational level and job title is not same, right? But in here, so you can see what I'm calling it, I think here. I'm just going to change it to next hire date, right? So because that is my actual value. So let me rerun it, because I have copied from previous statement. I forgot to change the column name. Now that makes sense here. So now you can see if I come in here, by the way, we can test it in the very next row. Our next high day is coming as, so you can see for this one, the very first row, because we are not looking at the previous, we are looking at the next one. So this next high date is coming from the second row. So we can see it is coming as 2009-01-31. So that's tick. This is the third row, 2008, 12, 11. So you can see in here, right? Now, just to test the actual logic. So because we are not interested looking at the duration, but just to show you because the logic is same. Now, instead of lag, what it is doing, it is subtracting from the next row. So our if we consider this one 2009-02-16, the next row is the 2009-02-03. So if you can see, if we subtract 2009-02-16 from 2009-02-03, we're gonna get 13 days. So that's lead, which is always remember, always look at the next one, and lag, always look at the previous one, right? So very simple function, but very powerful in terms of generating the insights from your data. Hopefully you understand this video, and that will be helpful for you to write the analytical queries in SQL. Please feel free to post any comments if you have any question, like the video if you like it, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.